Today, we're counting down 7 of the absolute worst SNES games. These aren't just minor missteps, they are terrible games that frustrated, disappointed, and flat out angered players. Games with terrible mechanics, bad graphics, broken gameplay, and some of the worst design choices imaginable. I'm sure we've got our own horror stories of video games we've gone, what the hell is that? So I want to hear about it. Now, if you do like this video and believe I've earned it, please hit that like and subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be notified of our next video. It's a small thing for you guys, but for me and the channel it means so much. If you want to support the show financially, you can do it at patreon.com/retrowards, where you can become involved in the weekly podcast, join our community, the Smut Squad, and receive your own additional podcast every week. So let's get into it, shall we? The worst games for the Super Nintendo. And by all means, this isn't a complete list. There are probably loads of stinkers, so I really do want to hear about them. But let's just get into the first one. Mario is Missing. God, where'd you start with this one? We kick off this list with Mario is Missing. A game that really did take everything fun about Mario games and threw it out the window. You might be expecting an adventure where Luigi finally gets the spotlight. Instead, you get a dull, educational game disguised as an adventure. Instead of running, jumping, and stomping Goombas, you're stuck walking around empty, lifeless cities answering geography trivia questions. The gameplay, if you want to call it that, consists of wandering through real-world locations like Rome and New York, talking to NPCs, and trying to return stolen artifacts. Luigi just moves painfully slow. There's no challenge and there's barely any platforming. Even the trivia questions feel random, making the educational aspect pretty poo. If you ever wanted a Mario game that is really just a social studies pop quiz, Mario Missing is your dream come true. And also, I don't know, it just lacks the charm and polish of a typical Mario title. The graphics are dull and inspired with bland backgrounds and barely resemble the cities they're meant to represent. Animations are rubbish and Luigi just feels like a cardboard cutout. And the idea of an educational game isn't bad, but the execution here is so lifeless and tedious it misses the mark. I kind of think if you got this at Christmas, I bet many people got this at Christmas because their parents just saw, oh, Mario, I'll buy that. And when you arrive, you go, wow, this looks like a really good game. And you put it in, and then literally Christmas Day's ruined. So thanks, Mum and Dad. Not for me, personally, but I imagine that was a lot of other people's complaints at Christmas Day, and the turkey didn't go down that well. Next up is Bill Laimbeer's Combat Basketball. A game that combines basketball with futuristic violence and still manages to be one of the worst sports ever. Who thought that was a good idea? Like, I'm not a basketball person because I'm English, but that's like playing Vinnie Jones soccer because Vinnie Jones just used to beat the crap out of people. It's not a good idea. Although to have him on the box art, not Vinnie Jones, Bill Laimbeer, that's pretty cool, but he must have hated himself. Although, to be fair, he might have that on the wall to say, look how good I am. The game is played from a bizarre top-down perspective that makes it, like, what the hell is going on? The ball physics are terrible, the players move like robots. Actually, to be fair, the ball looks dreadful. It's like one of those seal balls. The controls are an absolute nightmare. And instead of strategy or skill, the game just boils down to running into people and hoping for the best. It's kind of like normal basketball. Passing feels unnatural, shooting, just whatever. Again, it's like 5-year-olds trying to hit the hoop, and the AI is completely broken. You'd think removing the refs would make it more fun, but no, it's just confusing. That's why you need referees. Referees are important. Even beyond the graphics, it just fails at every level. Like, characters are ugly, the graphics are ugly. Like, every character looks like generic blobs. The sound is rubbish. Oh, the combat aspect is actually underwhelming as the game lacks the excitement or intensity you expect from futuristic basketball brawlers. Like, you're hoping they're knocking their heads off or anything like that. No, it's not. It's just a clunky mess of a game that makes you not even want to play basketball or go into the future. Bebe's Kids. Oh, Bebe's Kids. If you haven't heard the movie this film is based on, don't worry, a lot of people haven't. Again, I haven't. So why did they decide this is a good idea to make a beat-em-up game? And it's one of the worst ever. The hit detection is broken, meaning half the time your attacks don't even register. Yay! The enemies take forever to defeat, leading to boring, repetitive fights. The animations are awful, making the characters look like they're glitching across the screen, or they're probably under the influence of some sort of substance. The level design is bland with empty hallways and generic backstops, and let's not forget the soundtrack. Well, I've had to listen to it for the sake of this video, because when it said, oh, there's apparently the soundtrack's really bad, okay, let me listen to it, and oh my god, my ears were bleeding. Again, who went in the sound booth and thought, yeah, that is a winner, that is an absolute winner. And also, to make it worse, the game's just hard, because you can't hit your enemy, because the enemies just swarm you. It's just stupid. It controls are sluggish, it makes moving feel stiff. This is not Streets of Rage 2, people. It's an absolute farce. Although, probably someone's got a world record of being able to do it, so fair play to you if you did it. Let's get to a better game. Maybe not. It's Space Ace, a game that is certainly not a shining star in this library. It was originally released in the arcades, and Space Ace is an interactive animated game where you control the action heroes. In space. Yeah, it is a cool idea, just not on the SNES. Like, while the arcade had vibrant hand-drawn animation, for the SNES, it's just a blurry mess. Like, the SNES limited hardware can't do it. It's not at that stage yet, so it's probably just gonna blow up. A lot of the visuals are just overly pixelated, and there's almost no depth or fluidity to the character's movements because it's so over bloody pixelated. And also gameplay, look, it's essentially a glorified QuickTime event. You've got to press the right buttons at the right time or you'll fail, over and over and over again. Again, this might work in short little bursts, but when you're doing this as the whole game, like that is it, you're just gonna hate yourself and hate the game. And there's no real room for exploration, so it's just literally do QuickTime events. Again and again and again. And also, if you fail, you lose lives. And again, look, no. This is terrible. The game just doesn't live up to the hype on the SNES it did in the arcade. It's just clunky, repetitive, and a poor representation of what the game was meant to be. Let's talk about Pit Fighter. A game that really, again, tried to capture the feel of the arcade-style beat-em-ups. But they just couldn't get it to work on the SNES. Like, it had some big aspirations, don't get me wrong. It was one of the first fighting games to feature digitalized actors, like, remember Mortal Kombat sort of stuff? And this was a big deal back in the day. But again, it just doesn't work on the SNES. And the animation's stiff, the characters look awful, and it feels like the game's stuck in the mud. Also, more of the main issues. You know when you have fighting games and they need, like, tight, responsive controls? Yeah, Pit Fighter just suffers from sluggish, unresponsive inputs. Punches and kicks often miss, the moves feel awkward, and add to the fact that combat lacks any sort of fluidity. And again, it's just a game that's just a mess. Like, the characters are just on the floor going, nah. It's like, do I need to call a doctor? Are they having a seizure? Is it a seizure? Or are they trying to do a Michael Jackson dance-off? Let me know, because I have no idea, and I feel if I get involved, I'm going to lose a medical license. It's just disgraceful. And again, it's one of them, they put it out and go, yeah, we've done it, it's a great game. Pfft, no, it's not. Shaq Fu, talk about fighting games. We've got to talk about Shaq Fu, haven't we? It's the game everyone loves to hate, and trust me, it ain't without reason. The only reason why I don't hate it completely is just because it's called Shaq Fu, and that is an awesome name on paper. Like, it was meant to be a fighting game featuring none other than the basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal. Like, it sounds amazing, with Shaq throwing punches and kicks, but nope. Again, it's awful, it's clunky, it's unforgivingly stiff, and the problem is with fighting games, you need them to be absolutely great, because in here, the hit detection's awful. Like, you could be right next to an opponent and your attack's going to completely whiff. And then there's level design. The stages just feel uninspired, lack any kind of personality, and again, each fight just feels the same. And the AI is also absolutely dreadful. Like, they basically are just clocked in for the day and they're not motivated about their jobs. They're just not arsed. It's just downright ugly. Its character designs are so bizarre, animations are choppy, and again, it just feels unfinished. Did anyone go back and say, yep, this is it? Like, I would have hated to go to Shaquille and go, yeah, you know what, Shaq, here you go, here's me game. Here's a game based on you. Your kids are going to be proud of it. He'd probably dunk you into a basketball hoop, it's probably that bad. Like, it is the prime example of a celebrity cash-in, and I really can't think of any other celebrity cash-in game which does it just as bad. It's shocking. And finally of this adventure of games we've been playing, Ballz 3D. No, we're not talking about balls. We're talking about Ballz, another fighting game on 3D. Because all the characters are balls, literally. They're just weird, round, bouncy figures trying to show off things. I don't know. Again, who came up with this idea? Like, it's a unique idea, but it's just terrible. Like, the idea of playing with characters who are bouncy balls might have been fun at first, but again, it doesn't translate to the fighting game formula, especially on the SNES. Like, imagine, oh, who are you going to use? I'm going to use that Ballz and this Ballz. Okay, what's the, backstory? The Ballz. This isn't Street Fighter. And the problem was, it was trying to capture the 3D fighting craze that was Virtua Fighter. But you can't just suddenly go, oh, because we want to recreate it, let's try and do it. Well, no, the PlayStation could do it, the Sega Saturn couldn't do it, the SNES can't do it. And the characters just float around in every fight, and it makes them feel like skating on ice rather than actual combat. The camera's all over the place, it has some of the most frustrating inputs I've ever seen in a fighting game, the characters, as I said, are just balls. It's just shocking. I can understand why Ballz 3D quickly became frustrating more than fun. No, this is not a good game. This game would have been literally smacked into oblivion and probably given to the dog as a bloody chew toy. Here's another ball, play with that. And there you go, the list of 7 exciting games which I think everybody should play and should have in their collection. Although I know some of you are probably going to say, yeah, I've got that in my collection. Until then, I'll see you all in a few more days for hopefully a much better list. I've been Danny, take care of yourself, bye bye.